My house smells like bleach, and I now know why. Waking up is always hard when you're disoriented. There's often loud sounds to force you into consciousness, and you might be jolted out of a deep sleep or a strange dream. But rarely, in some cases, you are awoken by the smell of bleach. This morning was no different, except for two things. 1. My alarm didn't wake me, I'm not sure what did, and 2. I smelled something faint and unexpected. Bleach. Being an insomniac, I do have bursts of random cleaning late at night, but last night wasn't one of them. I live alone in my country house way off the road, so waking up to something so obviously inexplicable was very concerning. I tried to remember if I had woken in the night and done something to cause the smell, but after a few moments of deep consideration I knew I hadn't. The reason? I was out of bleach. I got out of bed and my body hurt all over. This isn't new. I'm in my late 40s and a farmer. My lifestyle is hard on my meat suit. What was new was the unfamiliar pains in muscles I don't normally use on a regular basis. Growing concerned, I started looking around and checking the house for the source of the smell, but my 2 cows had started their crying to be milked and the rooster was crowing like mad to be let out of the coop with his flock, so I threw on clothes and got to work. Later that night, after helping my only pig birth her piglets, I was stretched out in my large deep tub to soak away the day's labors when I remembered the oddities of the morning. I pondered what it could have been about, but growing increasingly tired, I decided to try to make it an early night. I was just tired and confused, sure it was nothing. The next morning it happened again. This time I was woken from a deep sleep, so I was even more disoriented. It was still dark and early, but the smell was stronger. When I checked the time I realized it was only 3 a.m. and the bleach smell was so strong it burned my nose and eyes. I got out of bed determined to find the source of this disconcerting situation, but when I put weight on my legs they buckled under me. Something was gravely wrong with my body. I called 911 to send an ambulance. I didn't know what they found until I arrived in the ER. One of my kidneys is gone. There's no evidence of a wound, no scar tissue, no evidence it was ever there to begin with. I also have somehow misplaced half my liver. Again, it's just gone. Police searched my home and property and found evidence that my pig's trough had human tissue in it. The reason I couldn't stand? A quarter of my calves in both legs are gone as well. It's like the connective tissues never existed despite all the evidence to the contrary. They are holding me for 2 days while my brother came to care for my animals. He called me this morning and told me something doesn't feel right. I asked him if he noticed anything strange, and he admitted that he woke up unexpectedly to the smell of bleach. A chill ran down my spine. I don't know what this is, how it's happening, or why, but it happened again. As I write this, my eyes and nose are burning, and the nurses are looking for the source. I'm worried what part of me is missing this time, and just how much more can be taken before there's nothing left. The bleach scent returned, overpowering my senses, causing my eyes to burn and my nostrils to sting. The worried nurses rushed to my side as my vision started to blur. The world spun around me, my heart pounded in my chest, and just as quickly, everything went dark. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in an unfamiliar room, surrounded by unfamiliar faces. Confusion clouded my mind until the lead surgeon entered the room, his face a mask of stoicism. He explained that they had discovered another organ missing, my other kidney. It had vanished without a trace, just like my liver and parts of my legs. I was stunned into silence, my mind struggling to make sense of this horrifying reality. How was this even possible? I reached for my phone, intending to call my brother, to warn him. But the call never connected, his phone was offline. A cold fear gripped me. The next morning, I awoke to the familiar scent of bleach. My heart raced as I tried to stand, but my legs were weak, my body felt lighter. A wave of nausea washed over me, a cold dread settling in the pit of my stomach. I called for the nurses, and as they pulled back the sheets, their horrified gasps confirmed my worst fears. My legs, from the knees down, were now completely gone. As the panic set in, I demanded to call my brother. A police officer entered the room, his face grave. He informed me that my brother had been found unconscious at my farm, in a similar condition. The evidence pointed to him having lost some of his organs in the same mysterious way.